Hey everyone, this is your girl Ashley, aka Amaze. I am wanting to come to you guys. I was watching O.W.N network today, and I always pay attention to Oprah's network because it's so inspiring to me. Like, as a young African American female, she is so inspiring to me, and it makes me, question certain things that I do in my life, where I want to go in life, and what I want to be. Tonight, there was a show on Dark Girls, and I don't really normally watch a lot of TV, is because I be really busy, but the title caught me is because I've always struggled with being dark skinned, and this has been a struggle like since I was little. I'm an Army brat, so I've moved all around the world, seen many different types of people, different colors, shades, and everything. And I've always wanted to be on some type of campaign to talk about, this issue or these issues that young black girls, little girls, even women have. And as I've gotten older, I'm 25 now, but as I've gotten older, it's been more easy for me to cope with it. But I just want to start off of saying how my journey and how I was, how this affected me as far as being dark skinned. Let me just start off. I have two parents, of course, but both of my parents are still together, and I take after my mother. My mother is dark skinned, and my father is light skinned. So, with that being said, all of my brothers and sisters take after my father, which is my sister here, my brother, my mom, my little brother, and that's me. They're all light skinned. So even from growing up and not being, at first with me not being, around other people that was my complexion, I automatically felt out of place. There was a joke that my sister played on me when we were really, really young and said that I was adopted because I was dark skinned. I didn't really understand it, but it always stuck with me growing up. And this is my sister when she was younger. Light skin, pretty, cute. And, myself, I was cute too, but, everybody always looks at the light-skinned people. Light skin is always so pretty. And I never really had a problem with coping with the shade of my skin color until I moved from Fort Benning, Georgia to Concord, North Carolina. And I was in transitioning to going into the 6th grade. And growing up in military schools as a child, there wasn't really no name calling, no disciplinary, issues, because it's the military, So when we came up here, even though my father was still active in the military, we were put into public school. And that was the first time going into 6th grade. I went to Concord Middle. And I've never in my life experienced people picking on me, ever. I never knew really what a bully was. We never was kids that grew up to fight or anything. And I would normally really go to school like wanting to honestly go home and kill myself. I didn't think that I was as dark as what people would say that I was. It would really, really hurt my feelings, having to go to school every day and having to deal with people, calling you smoky and throwing charcoal at you. There was a guy, I'm going to put names out there. It's because, I'm not going to do that. But there's this one guy that everybody that I will talk about in a scenario are either on my Facebook, so they should know who I'm talking about. There's this one guy. He's light skinned. I would never forget him. He threw charcoal at me, and he was really good in basketball, and he threw it at me and ran away. Now, when I seen him coming back, running down the hallway, I stuck my foot out and tripped him, and he went flying, hurt his knee. Didn't know if he would still be able to play basketball, but, just the cruelty of what kids would do. I'm in middle school, and, I really don't know anything else. Like, my name in middle school was Smokey because I was dark-skinned. And believe it or not, it was all the black people that were picking on me. I never had any Caucasian or white friends or of any other race, Hispanic or nothing, call me any types of names. Actually, the white people, the Hispanics, Chinese, any other race were actually, actually don't worry about it. You're beautiful. Don't get into what, they're saying about you, and like, don't worry about it. And it was just like, I never ever felt so bad. Like, I would honestly come home from school and look myself in the mirror and be like, really? Am I really this dark? And then you have your family and your friends that tell you, oh, don't worry about what they say, you're beautiful. But it's like, oh, you're family, you're supposed to say that. But when you go to school and you have the whole entire, your whole class, I'm having almost the whole entire 6th grade, the popular kids, picking on me, and I wouldn't do anything. Like, I was just me. I was just Ashley. And it was like always the same group. And come to find out, most of them were related. I never was in a school with my cousins or anything like that because we moved around a lot. So I really honestly felt alone. But this is a picture in middle school where this young lady, if you can see, that is Miss Shanika Johnson. I have never really expressed fully what Shanika has done for me in my life. I always looked up to her as a role model. We were friends since Concord, but then we transgressed to Northwest Middle, and the picking continued there as well. But Shanika never left my side. She was always telling me how beautiful I was as a person. Even when, like, I used to have long hair in middle school, and then my mom cut my hair up to here. And I was like, I look like a boy. Nobody's going to like me. I'm already dark-skinned, It's another reason for someone to pick on me. And Shanika was like, Ashley, just come to school. I remember the day I came, and she's like, girl, your haircut looks really cute on you. You don't have anything. You are beautiful. Like, I've always remembered Shanika. I've never seen her, like, in a negative way. And that's how I want to live my life. I don't want nobody looking at me and, like, Ashley's this negative person. Like, Shanika has always been that person that's always inspiring and always positive. And I've never really had a friend like that when I was younger besides Tiffany that I could relate to. And I always looked up to Shanika. I was like, Shanika is very pretty. Like, I looked up to her and was like, I want to be just like Shanika. I want, the guys to like me like Shanika. I've always had that in the back of my mind when I was younger. And it was just like, I didn't have that. And come to find out, the guys that would actually pick on me in middle school, when I got to high school and I started coming out of my shell and coming into my element, all of those guys wanted to talk to me, and it was crazy and weird. And I used to always make the comments of, I don't really want my kids to come out dark skinned like me. It's because I don't want them to have to go through what I went through. But I will say one name. There was a girl that I would never ever forget in my entire life. Her name was Keosha Smith. She bullied me to the fullest. And I don't know why she hated me so bad. I didn't really do anything to her. Like, she used to push me up against the locker. She would pull my hair in church. Like, she would try to trip me while we was in gym. Like, she was just so mean to me. And I'm just like, why is this girl always mean to me? And on top of that, bullying, like, people, Smokey this, Chalky, Choco, and you know, all these names. It just really got to me as a young child. And it's like, even, you know, I felt like I was divided even with my own family. Like, my father being light skinned, me going down there to visit his side of the family, and most of the people that I had known growing up, they were all light skinned on my dad's side. So I used to be like, I don't look like nobody on this side. So I could never mentally relate until I got a little bit older. On my mom's side, everybody was dark skinned. So I got along with everybody. I'm like, you went through that too? Cool. You know, I have somebody to relate to. But I really don't have those problems now, but if I think about it and think about how I was feeling back then yeah, it makes me want to tear up just a little bit. It's because, like, I wouldn't want nobody else to be picked on like that. And, you know, coming back from, like, slavery times, like, only imagine what they had to go through. You know, like, they were darker than me. So it's like, what in the world? I can't even imagine it. And then, like, now I have role models to look up to. I love, love, love India.Arie. I love everything that she stands for. Me being a singer myself, I love the music that she puts out. It's not negative at all. And I just always looked up to India.Arie. Like, I respect her in such a way. Oprah herself, I respect her. You know, overcoming all the obstacles that she's overcome. Like, I respect any African American educated black woman. And she don't even have to be educated, but I just respect black women that can empower other, you know, other women. And a lot of people, I used to always get picked on. It didn't help that we lived in a more upper class neighborhood. You know, everybody drives fancy cars. You have the big house, and, you know, money wasn't really an issue, you know, growing up. It really didn't help because not only was I the black girl, I was a black, white, rich girl is what they would say. You're spoiled. You have everything that you want. And I'm like, well, I'm just trying to be your friend. Like, only people I could relate to personality-wise was, you know, my white friends. And I love each and every one of them. Like, they made me become somewhat of the type of person that I am today is because I would spend most of my time, you know, with my white friends, and they didn't treat me any different, and I appreciate every last one of them. Like, I love my upbringing as far as in the friends that I've made, and I don't have any shame in it. I used to get ridiculed because I used to say I wanted to marry an Italian guy. But actually, how come you want to marry an Italian guy? You don't marry a black guy? And I'm like, well, everybody has their different preferences, you know. It shouldn't matter who I would want to date or whatever. You know, I don't want growing up, because I grew up in the military system, color was not an issue for me. I didn't see color. It was just never an issue. But it just breaks my heart that there's still things like that that's going on. And if I wasn't a strong person, you know, what would my life be like now? You know, would I have committed suicide, or would I have, you know, cut myself, or, you know, got into drugs or whatever? Like, what would I have done if I wasn't the strong person I am, and without God, you know, being on my side? I've always been in God's favor since I was born. I've always been in God's favor, and I thank God now for the skin that I am in. I learned to embrace my beautiness, and I think a lot of that had to do with me cutting my hair off. I even look more black, as they say. I get compliments of, hi, my beautiful black African queen or princess, and I'm like, oh, thank you. You know, I embrace it. I embrace my dark skin. I embrace the person that I have grown to be. I no longer want to be in someone else's skin. It's because this is the way that God has made me, and God makes no mistakes. So if I can be a voice to little black girls, little dark-skinned black girls, you know, I just want to say I've been there, I've done that, and I have overcame. Every obstacle that anyone has tried to put in my way, I have overcome that obstacle. When it comes to race, sexual abuse, bullying, just people telling you that you're never going to do or be something is because you don't have this type of degree or certificate. I thank God of where I am today, and I just know that I'm blessed. I don't brag about it. I just say I'm blessed. And that's pretty much all I have to say. I just thank Oprah for that documentary, or not really a documentary, but that show on dark girls, because I was, and still is, that dark girl.